Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Side Hustle Enterprise. I am your host, John Maz, and this, of course, is the Live Market Moves Wednesday. Lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff to cover. Big news regarding AMC, big news regarding ARK investing in cryptocurrency. Lots of stuff to talk about. Hope you guys want to join in on the conversation, share your thoughts, share your opinions. They are always welcome here. Thanks for joining us, Keith. I appreciate you getting out of bed, man. So close, Ben. So close. Morning, Ronald. So last night we posted our first private or VIP content for Side Hustle Enterprise. It's available on Discord through a Google link. It's available on Patreon, and it's also available through the membership program through YouTube. So if you're interested in joining and checking out more of the behind-the-scenes type of action, that is a good place or good places to check out. I always appreciate everybody's support and thoughts. Of course, I encourage everybody to join in the conversation via chat here on YouTube or slide over to Discord and talk with me and discuss what you got going on over there. Lots of stuff to talk about today. Got lots of price movement. We've got lots of orders being filled on AMC. We're hitting higher highs. Still not seeing the previous high that we saw a couple weeks back, over $20, but we are getting extremely close. Lots of stuff going on, lots of price movement. We have a huge buy wall here. Not too many people selling us that, and that's exactly what we want to see right now. We want to see people holding on to their shares. This is not the short squeeze. The short squeeze is coming. This is not the short squeeze. In my opinion, what we are seeing here is a retracement of normal stock positioning for AMC on top of potentially a gamma squeeze. So I just think this is a retracement based upon all the manipulation that we saw in the past. I think the hedge funds are kind of running out of steam. They're, approaching the last leg of the short squeeze here, being the share count coming on June 2nd. That, to me, is more or less when we are going to see the squeeze happen, is around that June 2nd date. We have a lot of FUD going on right now. Tons and tons of bots on Reddit, tons and tons of articles coming out on AMC trying to get you to sell by Friday. The reason they're trying to get you to sell by Friday is because a lot of option contracts expire on Friday. So they're going to lose a large chunk of money come Friday when this closes above $17, when it closes above $18, and so on. So the higher it goes, the more option calls are going to expire in the money. So they're trying to get everybody to sell, close out the positions, and potentially bring that price down back to the 1480 level. So we just have to hold the line. This is not the squeeze. This could be potentially a gamma squeeze based upon options expiring in the money. But to me, it's maybe a combination of a gamma squeeze and a price action retracement. So lots and lots of movement, lots of stuff going on. It looks real great. I mean, I'm happy to see my portfolio being this healthy right now. I'm sure a lot of you other guys that are holding AMC are in the same type of position. Seeing AMC be so healthy, it's fun. It's great. It's great to see, but I encourage you guys to hold on. It's not over yet. This is just the beginning of the battle. Yeah, Benjamin's over there saying, I'm seeing all sorts of crazy price predictions. What's this movement about? Isn't AMC as a company fundamentally dead? I really don't think so, Benjamin. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff, not just in regards to theaters reopening because of the pandemic, but they didn't take this pandemic and the closures laying down. They set up infrastructure to hedge their revenue, if you will. They have, streaming services coming out, where you can watch AMC theater movies in your house. They are, doing the best that they can to keep the company afloat. and they're very much in the green right now. They have enough money in liquid assets to sustain themselves, sorry, for the next 5 to 8 years, just based upon the 43 million shares that they had sold a few weeks back. Now, those on top of record high reopenings and movie sales, AMC is doing very, very well right now. They're very, very strong. And that's what I think this whole price movement that we are seeing is. This is the normal trading volume or normal trading price where AMC should be. Between the $20 and $30 range is where AMC should trade on a regular, normal, operating properly market, in my opinion. So what we're seeing here is just the stock returning to those normal levels prior to the squeeze happening. Now, this all could be compounded by a potential gamma squeeze is what we're seeing. As option calls expire in the money, it increases the volume of the share and the trading volume, which pushes it up so sharply. That's more or less what we're seeing, I think, is returning to its normal levels on top of a gamma squeeze. AMC is healthy. AMC is doing real well. There's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of stuff being pushed around right now that, sell your AMC shares by Friday. It's not going to go up any higher by Friday, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, let's look at some hard numbers. Let's look at some hard facts. Let's talk about some real information that cannot be manipulated as much as, say, the news could be. This is fintel.io. It's a great site to use if you're trying to get into investing. They do have a paid subscription, but a lot of information on here is free. So if we just scroll down a little bit, we can see, let me refresh this so we get some better numbers here. It's maybe a little bit old. Beachfront, yep. I'm with you, Ronald. Beachfront. Yeah, Benjamin. The short squeeze is definitely going to push it higher than what we're seeing now. Right, and this tells you right here, 48 minutes ago today, only 35,000 shares are available to short. So that means that the hedge funds have not closed out the majority of their short positions. Their short positions are still in play. They are trying their best to limit the amount of loss that they are having. Every single day, roughly, let's just look at yesterday's numbers. Yesterday's numbers tell us, according to Ortex, that AMC lost right around $300 million just holding AMC shorts. $300 million is what they're paying per day in interest. And the price goes up for every day that they hold it. So they are bleeding. They cannot stop the bleeding. They are doing everything that they can to stop the bleeding. That includes media FUD. That includes shutting down Facebook groups. That includes bots on Reddit. They're doing everything they can. They're throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks just to get you to sell your shares. That's what it's coming down to right now. So we can tell that they don't have the shares available. They don't have all the shares that are in circulation that they have that they should are synthetic. There's no more shares to be had. The majority of the shares, the free floating shares, are taken up by retail investors. The majority of them. There are market makers out there, other hedge funds, other entities that are holding AMC shares. But on average, the average individual, the average day trader, the retail investor, is holding right around 170 shares of AMC. I'm holding way more than that, so I know that those numbers are on a low average. 3.2 million holders just in North America alone. We're not talking about positions overseas. We're not talking about China or Japan or Europe or any of these other foreign nations that are able to access our markets and trade with it. We're just talking about 3.2 million shareholders in North America alone. We hold the shares. By holding the shares, we hold the power. They need our shares to close their positions. So we dictate the price in which we say we want to sell them at. So by seeing AMC climb right now, all we are seeing is normal price movement to a normal level prior to the squeeze happening. everything prior to this price, in my opinion, is the hedge funds trying to drive down the stock price so they can get out of their positions with as little loss as possible. And we're just not letting them happen. And that's great. That's what we want to keep doing. We have to hold to at least a minimum of June 2nd. That is when we're going to get our share counts. That's when it's going to actually come out on paper, hard facts, how many synthetic shares the hedge funds have. And people are already going to jail for creating synthetic shares, for doing naked short selling. That's what creates the short shares, is naked short selling. We have people doing jail time and going to federal court already. It's already happening. It's already in the works, but they're burying that news so you can't see it. It's not in front of your eyes. So they're trying to bypass and drive down the price that way. Do your research, guys. Don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to other YouTubers. I encourage you to get on Ortex, get on Fintel, get on these government-regulated and sanctioned sites that can only deliver the hard truth, the truth that the media is not telling us. I've said this before in a lot of my previous videos. 15% or 15, sorry, not 15%, 15 of the world's richest individuals own 90% of all media outlets. 15 people, that is it. 15 people dictate what we see in the media. So if they are losing money, I know if I was losing money, I'd be calling up Fox News, CBS, Facebook, whoever it may be, and say, hey, look, I'm losing billions of dollars. Shut down that group. Put out this news. I don't care what you have to pay. I'm pulling out all of my positions out of your media outlet if you don't do X, Y, and Z to cover my ass. And that's what we're seeing right now, is hedge funds scrambling to take down posts, to take down groups, to take down, Reddit posts and implement bots. I like I said, in my private content that we released last night, I kind of gave you guys a background, a little bit of my trading experience. I've been doing this for over 15 years. I'm not a professional day trader, but I'm very proficient in what I do. I have never seen manipulation like this in the 15 years I've been trading. I've seen manipulation. We see it every single day, but not to this extent. This is unbelievable. This is a new president of what we are seeing. This is changing the whole fundamentals of how we view the markets across the world. It's a complete flip-flop. We took the power away from the hedge funds. We have more information at our fingertips than ever before. We just have to weed through what is fake news, what is FUD, and find the facts. By doing that, you're going to secure your future. You're going to collect as much possible gains as you possibly can. So stick with it, guys. Don't give up. Don't buy into the hype. Do your own research and figure out an exit strategy that works best for you. I'm not selling until I see at least 4 digits, 3 digits at the minimum. High for 3 digits. I want to see 4. I want to see 5 digits. Then I will start monitoring and preparing for an exit strategy. I'm not saying I'm going to sell at 4 digits, but I'm going to start looking. I'm going to start monitoring and preparing myself for an exit. That's my game plan. That's what I am doing. I'm holding over 5,600 shares of AMC across 4 different platforms. I put a lot on the line. I mean, it's a gamble. It's a lot of stuff coming out. There's a lot of FUD, and it's a lot of nerves, and it's a lot of emotion around what is going on right now. So just take a step back, take a breather, and form your own strategy based upon the information that you yourself have come up with. It's great to listen to YouTubers and financial people or financial influencers or whatever we want to call us here on YouTube and Twitter and Reddit and Facebook and wherever else. But it's always important to do your own digging, to do your own research, and come to your own conclusions. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't look at me as a financial advisor. This is all hearsay. This is all entertainment purposes only, right? So just do your own digging, guys. I really, really encourage you to do so. So when do we give up? Never. Never give up. Never surrender. I posted some interesting articles over on Discord that I encourage you guys, if you're on the Discord server, I encourage you to check them out. If you're not on the Discord server, slide on over there. I will pin a invite here in a second in the chat. I always try to weed out and find the most interesting articles I possibly can that are accurate. Not everything that we read, of course, is accurate, but I try to find the ones that give proof, that give research, and can, verify the information that they're giving us. And I try to post those over on Discord as much as I possibly can to share with you guys, so you don't have to do all the digging on your own. That's kind of what I do. I'm here most of the time in front of the computer anyways. Hey Chip, welcome to the chat. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for 5-digit AMC, Benjamin. It's 100% possible. In my opinion, it's possible. And that's what I'm holding on to. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, it's all over the place. There's just crazy stuff. Everybody's talking about it. Hold your positions. So excited. Me and my fellow apes are selling on Friday at $50. No, we're not. We're not selling at $50. I'm not selling at $100. I'm not selling at $500. I'm not selling at $1,000. I'm going to hold until I see a minimum of 4 digits to 5 digits before I even consider an exit strategy. In it for the long haul, guys. In it for the long haul. I'll get this post here. Endgame is here. $50 to $75 Friday, and then comes the attack. Be prepared. We know $50 price point has been brought up by shills before, and now we're seeing Lou get spammed with sell Friday at 50 shillings. We still have huge catalysts that are in the pipeline. Why would you sell before you have all of the information available to you? Why would you invest if you didn't have all the information available to you? The CEO of AMC has played this very close to the chest, in my opinion. He's playing a chess game. He really is. He's manipulating it just as much as the hedge funds are manipulating the market. I'm holding out for the share count. I'm holding out, if I can, for the shareholders meeting. That's when I think we're going to see the biggest gains, is when we come across the actual hard numbers of the share count. They cannot be manipulated. They have to report them. Legally, they have to report their shares, their holdings. Robinhood is going to report yours. Webull is going to report yours. They're going to tell you that they have X amount of members on their brokerage holding X amount of positions. They legally have to tell and report those shares and those holdings. We do. The hedge funds do. You cannot manipulate it. You cannot get around it. You have to report the synthetic shares as well. That's what we are waiting for. That is the tipping point. There's only 493 million or just under 500 million shares issued for AMC. So if we pass that line, everything above that line are synthetic shares, are fake shares, are manipulated shares that they will have to pay for. You done? No, Dahlia. Sorry, my daughter is seeing what was going on. Who would be buying at 1 million shares? So every single regulation, every single government entity that is involved, that is listed under the SEC, the DTC, the DTCC, the OS, the OCC, the ST, whatever it is, there's tons of them. They are all putting out plans in place for this short squeeze. They all have very similar verbiage. They all have very similar plans to help mediate and help control the squeeze after, keyword there, after it happens. They all have the same verbiage, a cool down period. A cool down period. That's what they all are talking about. That's what they're all saying. That's what every document that I have read, the 30 plus documents that I have gone through, they all have this cool down period in place. The government will step in and bail out the hedge funds. There's already funds in place to do so. There are clearinghouses. There are multiple clearinghouses, Apex being one of them. Apex is the one that controls Webull and Robinhood. They have already got a temporary inflow or influx of assets to cover this short squeeze. The government is already standing by with $62 trillion to bail out the market. They know it's going to happen. They know the hedges have effed up. They're giving them as much time as, in my opinion, and letting them manipulate the market to try to cover themselves so they don't have to bail out the market with the $62 trillion. If the hedge funds can't cover their losses and they can't afford to buy back our shares, we sell at whatever price we want. We lock in the price that we want to sell at. The government steps in, and we may not get a instant transaction, but the money will come to you. It will. The clearinghouse has to follow the rules. The brokerages have to follow the rules. If you hit a sell order for one share at $500,000, you get, and it's accepted. Okay, it has to be accepted, obviously. You will get that $500,000 for that one share. They legally have to give it to you. It may not be immediate. It may be weeks down the line because the whole market has crashed, but they have to give it to you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to happen. I don't think it's going to hit 500,000 shares like everyone on Reddit is saying and all these big time floors. But 4 figures, 5 figures, in my opinion, is definitely possible. I'm a millionaire at 4 figures. You know, I'm happy with that. I'm not looking for the 6-figure floor level that all these other guys are talking about. It's not healthy to get to that point. It could get to that point. You know, as history has told us, as history dictates for us, if you've been in the market, numbers are infinite. They always go up. The stock market always goes up, but there's always a floor at 0. Once a company hits 0, it is gone, it's bankrupt, it's pulled off the exchange, right? So it can continue to go up for infinite amounts. So they're going to lose an infinite amount of money short selling it. We hold the power. We can dictate when we sell it at. I don't think it's going to hit the 6 figures. I'll be very surprised and very amazed if it does. But again, I'm happy at 4 figures. I'm happy at 5. I'm happy at high 3s. You know, I'm not gonna shoot for. You know, it's not healthy. I don't want to crash the market. I hope that we don't crash the market. There are plans in place for us not to crash the market. But who's to say? You know, I can't predict the future. I'm going off based upon what I've read, the numbers that I've pulled up, the information that I've gotten from reliable sources, not social media, not YouTube, not Facebook groups or Reddit groups. I'm talking about government-regulated documents. I'm talking about SEC documents. I'm talking about DTCC documents. All those, to me, are pointing in an upward momentum. They are all preparing for the inevitable. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm basing my portfolio on, is the research that I have done. I could be wrong, and I could lose everything, but I'm confident in my research abilities. I'm confident in my gut feelings. I'm willing to gamble on it. I'm not saying that everybody should do that. If you see gains right now and you're not comfortable waiting for the short squeeze for June 2nd, I'm not going to tell you not to sell. Collect your gains. I understand. Me personally, I'm not selling. I'm not selling until I know what the shares outstanding are for AMC. That number is going to dictate how high and how much power retail investors have. That's what I'm waiting for. The hedge funds will be forced to settle their shorted shares. Yeah, absolutely. They're forced to settle them. They have to settle them. They legally are obligated to settle all of their short positions at whatever price we set the stock at. Also, Robinhood is going to shut down trading like they did for GME, and they can't sell. Yeah, I'm super, super terrified of that happening, but I'm not planning on selling at the top. I'm not. I'm going to wait for the squeeze to happen, and I'm going to wait for this cool down period that everybody is talking about. And I say everybody, again, I'm talking about government entities. I'm talking about SEC regulated government groups. They're all talking about a cool down period. That is when I'm planning to sell my positions on the downward, not on the upside. I'm going to sell it on the retracement, not the impulse, the retracement. That's when I'm looking to sell my position. They're going to bail out the hedge funds. Say they're just going to I'm a little confused. Yes, they're going to bail out the hedge funds. The government is ready to bail out the hedge funds. They have already given number of clearinghouses, or the clearinghouses, the OSS and the DTC have already published regulatory agreements that have been approved for other clearinghouses and other market makers to contribute to these clearinghouses to prevent the shutdown from happening. Or really what's happening, it's a circuit breaker effect. When the market is flooded with so much volume, a circuit breaker is automatically hit. Whether it be premature like Robinhood did back with GME, because their clearinghouse couldn't handle the volume is what they're claiming, or it's a circuit breaker being hit by the SEC and there's just too much volume in the New York Stock Exchange on the ground floor that it can't be handled. That's typically why we see a circuit breaker. It's going to happen. I can't get my head around it not happening. I hope it's not as bad as we saw with GME. I hope we don't see as much manipulation from Robinhood with like we saw with GME and other stocks. I hope they stick by their word. I hope that Apex Clearinghouse, who handles all of Robinhood's positions for all of us retail traders, I hope they have stepped up their game and they're ready for this to happen. Benjamin's going to check back with you on June 2nd. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Ronald, huge, man. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Appreciate you. Whatever I can do for you, let me know, brother. Awesome. And Benjamin, yeah, come back. Check in with me, man. I'm all for it. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. I will come on here and I will publicly apologize to all my subscribers and to everybody on Discord that, hey, my numbers were off. But I'm very confident in my research. I'm very confident in my numbers. I don't write everything down for no reason. I write it down so I can visualize it and see it. That's why I created my trading journal. That's why I track all my trades, not just on a spreadsheet, but I track it. I physically write down every single trade I do. I physically write down and take notes every single day. I have notebooks stacked up next to me with information, ideas, strategies that I've put together, tested, back-tested, thrown away, scrapped, burned. For years I've been doing this. So, again, I'm not a professional trader. I'm not an advisor, but I am very proficient in what I do. I would not take unwanted risk with money that I need to feed my family with. And I don't encourage you guys to do it either. This is money. I'm playing with house money. I'm wrong fairly often. We talked a little bit about it in the VIP content I put out, and I want to stress this point to everybody getting involved in trading, to everyone that, I mean, even my father-in-law who's in his 70s, we had this conversation, because he likes to trade, but he's in the same kind of mentality. I'm fairly wrong fairly often, which is fine as long as when you are right, you're gaining more than you're losing. You can be wrong 4 out of 5 times, but that one time you're right makes up all the difference in every time you were wrong. You could have 4 bad trades with minimal losses because you have stop losses and you have a strategy in place, and then you have that one good trade that makes you a millionaire. That's all it takes. You can be wrong 80% of the time and be right 20% and still come out on top, depending on the strategy that you use. 70% of everybody that gets involved in day trading and Forex fails within the first year. Fails, gives it up, walks away. If you are successful 60% of the time, 50% of the time, you are doing better than 80 to 90% of every single trader out there. That is saying a lot. I don't follow any of these guys that say I'm 80% successful, I'm 90% successful in all my trades. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It's utter garbage. There's no way you can be successful that often and still show profitable gains. What are they doing? They're putting in 1,000 trades a month and closing each one out for 2 cents. Okay, you made $200. Big deal. I'd rather have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 trades in a month and have them be worth tens of thousands of dollars. That to me is successful, and have a couple bad trades. I don't believe the hype for these guys out there that tell you that they're all follow my group, buy my trading package in my trading strategy. You'll be a millionaire in a year. It's not going to happen. It takes work. It takes hard work. It takes research, and it takes a strategy that you have to develop on your own. He's not a financial advisor. Content provided for entertainment purposes only. Yes, thank you. Is this me or is someone playing bongos? Could be. I mean, it could be my microphone bouncing. Sorry about that, Keith. You know what it is? I know exactly what it is. I have a little keychain hanging off my microphone that my wife and my kids gave me as an early Father's Day gift, and it's bouncing on my microphone. Sorry about that. I'll take it off. The top ones just released their ROI numbers. What top ones are we talking about? Be a little more specific for us. What do we got? I'll pull it up. Doge bongos. Yes, Doge bongos. and my cat is fighting with my curtains behind me. I mean, there's stuff all over Reddit. Be prepared, fake squeeze. Like that old dude. What's his name? The big trader. Warren Buffett. You talk about Warren Buffett? Right. They don't tell you the percentage of the trades, just their ROI, the return on investment. They could have, I mean, for example, I tried my best. My goal is to fill up my sheet at least every 2 weeks. Every week, if possible, if it's a normal market, I try to make enough exits and entries to fill up that sheet every week. That is my goal. If I get halfway down there, I'm still happy. But not all my positions close, and I'm not worried about the losses. I take the losses with the gains. It's part of trading. It's part of investing. You have to take the losses with the gains, guys. Don't try to trade without no losses. It's impossible. Yes, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a big-time trader, and he's been doing it for decades. And he's got teams of guys that help him and do it for decades. But he's a long-term trader. He's not a day trader. He's not somebody doing this. He's buying Coke and holding on to it for 30 years and collecting dividends as the company ages and matures and turns into profits for him. He's buying Apple at its infancy and holding it. His strategy of trading is far different than mine and may be different than somebody else's. You have to find your own strategy that works for you for your financial situation. As my account approaches that $1 million mark, that is my goal, is to get my account to $1 million and above. My strategy will change. Right now, I'm taking higher risks. I pulled out my initial investment. I'm taking higher risks with house money to gain those bigger numbers. Once I hit those bigger numbers, I'm going to completely transition into a new style of trading that I've already been starting. I've already started to plan. I've already started to put into place, if you will. You have to adapt and you have to change with your financial situation and the way the market is moved and the way the market moves itself. This strategy that I'm using now, I wouldn't have used a year ago. The strategy that I may not use it in 2 years from now. My strategies continuously change, evolve, and are developed throughout the time. Some of the things that I'm using to trade stock exchange, I picked up trading Forex, foreign exchange markets, currencies. I learned the most about candlesticks and how candlesticks move trading Forex. Not trading stocks, believe it or not, but trading Forex, but trading foreign exchange, but trading currencies is where I learned the most about candlesticks. I took that information, took what I knew about stocks and the market and how the media works in regards to the market and how business works, because I used to teach business management and business ethics, so I kind of understand the backbone to certain companies, and I pride myself on being able to put myself in their shoes, if you will, and I base all that information, and that's, I'm taking educated guesses. And that's all you're doing when you're trading, is you're taking educated guesses. You're using indicators, you're using oscillators, but at the end of the day, you're taking an educated guess based upon a gut feeling, based upon indicators that, are based upon the history of a stock. But you have instances like AMC that where we're seeing short squeeze and manipulation, and it doesn't move like a typical market should. What we're seeing now is not how the market should move. This is not healthy. This is not sustainable. Something's going to happen. Something's going to break. It only takes, that one straw to break the camel's back. I'm hoping that this will help open the eyes for a lot of government officials and government regulators. We're already seeing it happen. We're already seeing approvals for so many amendments in the way things are traded now. So I'm hoping that continues. I hope that more crackdowns happen and we're given a little bit more freedom as retail and traders, because this is something that I truly enjoy doing, that I have had in the past couple of months that I focused on this 100%. My life has completely changed. I'm happier. I'm not as healthy as I should be. I'm still very overweight, but I'm happier. I get to spend time with my kids. I get to spend time with my family. I'm not working 3 to 4 jobs and playing, the market a little bit here and there on my phone, trying to collect dividend investments and so on. I'm enjoying this, and I hope I can continue doing it. And, with these new amendments, it will hopefully allow me to keep doing it at a safer level. Just be careful, guys. I can't stress that enough. Be careful. Well, damn, I dropped out of school. I guess just not an educated guess. Nothing wrong with dropping out of school. I mean, I thought about it a number of times. My parents forced me to stay. I'm the oldest child of 3. My youngest brother, school wasn't for him. It didn't work out. But he is one of the smartest people that I know. He is an amazing individual, and he didn't finish school. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I turn to him. He does numbers in his head right off the bat. Like, he's a genius when it comes to mathematics, and he can sell you a ketchup popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves. The kid is just amazing, amazing, amazing. He never finished school, and he beats himself up for it. I wish he wouldn't, but there's nothing wrong with that. When I'm saying educated guess, educate yourself to make that guess. How's that sound better? educate yourself to make that guess, or to feel comfortable at your guess? School is overrated and almost useless. Now, I completely agree with you. I've learned more from YouTube and from my own endeavors than I ever did in school. I'm very, very, very self-taught individual. When it comes to metal fabrication, when it comes to welding, when it comes to finance, when it comes to business management, I pretty much taught myself. I mean, I was going for my teaching certificate or my teaching degree while I was teaching. I had a grace period, so I used that time, crammed in as much school as I possibly could, went to University of Central Florida, got my teaching certificate for the state of Florida while I was teaching. If you have motivation, you have the drive, you can do anything. And I stick by that 100%. You get out of this life as much as you put into it. And I'm putting in a hell of a lot of work, so I want as much out of it as I possibly can. I went back after 2 years and got my... Yeah, see, man, you did fine. GED is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And after talking to you, Keith, and you know, multiple conversations on Discord, you're a bright guy. I can definitely tell you're a very bright individual. So don't beat yourself up, man. Keep up the good work. This was another interesting post I found on AMC. You know, from a bunch of bots. I mean, look at these pictures. They look like bots. They look... It's hilarious. They all talk about the same date, Friday. Want to know why the bots want you to sell by Friday? May 28th is the last day anyone can purchase shares to be eligible to vote or have shares counted on June 2nd. Very interesting. Now we know what that date implies. Now I'll look that up and I'll double check and I'll fact check this, but typically that's more or less accurate. You have a set time frame to hold on to your shares to be eligible to vote. So we got Friday. Let me pull up a calendar here. So Friday the 28th and June 2nd. So yeah, you have about one. So that's it. So if you bought Monday, obviously you're not going to be eligible for the vote on Wednesday, because the clearinghouse may not have put it in the records. Every day now, one of the regulations that came out is that all the clearinghouses and all of the brokerages and hedge funds have to report their holdings every single day. They have to, you know, on demand, whenever the SEC says, hey, let me see your records, they have to produce them or they're going to get fined. So that's a lot of pressure for a lot of these brokerages and clearinghouses and hedge funds. They have to produce the records. So I'm guessing that Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday we're going to see a call to action from the SEC and from AMC CEOs and board of directors saying, hey, time to tally the votes, send in all your information, and then it's going to take them probably a team of people the weekend to calculate all the votes and get everything accurate. That's more or less what I'm thinking is going to be happening. That's typically what happens. The companies that I've worked for in the past, where I was part of the board of directors, that's typically what happens. You know, sometimes it's a larger company compared to what I've worked for in the past. So, you know, for the companies I worked for, it took about a week, 2 weeks max. You know, we're going to have the shareholders meeting this date. We're going to have the count this date, and then you have to be holding on this date to be counted for the shareholders meeting. So that's more or less what they're doing. They're giving you until Friday to solidify your holdings and solidify your positions. Count is going to be the 2nd, and then in July you will have the shareholders meeting. So we have the count, we have the discussion, and then we have the shareholders meeting. So between June 2nd and the shareholders meeting is when we're going to start seeing all these brokerages come out with by proxy votes, and so you can cast your vote, and we'll get to see what's on the docket for the shareholders meeting and cast our votes. But you're not going to get that if you're not holding positions on Friday. Hope that makes sense. Hope that clears up some things for you guys. I went back after 2 years and got my GED. Yeah, right for you. I hated learning in high school. I love it now. It's hard to get me from. I'm the same way. I'm absolutely the same way. I'm down here in my little makeshift office in my rental house, and even when I was in Florida and I had myself set up, I'd lock myself away and I would just do research. And it's not. I mean, it's stocks, it's investments, it's cryptocurrency, new welding techniques. It's you're doing research and you're learning about things that really interest you now, and you have the freedom to do that, and you have the freedom to stop. I think that's a big thing, is that you dictate how long you want to study for and how long you want. So I'm not going to get into education. I think our school system sucks. I got a restricted number calling me. I wonder who it is. So this was a tweet that somebody captured from Ortex. I've posted this one as well on the Discord server. AMC short interest update with AMC strong performance yesterday, closing in the after-hour market at $17.08. It is estimated short sellers lost $300 million yesterday in AMC alone. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. Download it. $300 million yesterday alone. They have lost billions of dollars up until this point. They hurt, man. They're hurting bad, and we're going to stick it to them. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to turn this market completely upside down. It's no longer going to be a market maker's market and a hedge fund market. It's going to be a retail investor's market. We are influencing the market. Already we have new trading strategies and new financial institutes thinking about different ways of trading and looking at the market in a completely new light. It's no longer just about meme stocks or Wall Street bets. They are finally understanding how much influence social media has and how much power retail investors have when we come together as a group. And I'm all for it. Ronald says, I know someone who owns several businesses and is barely literate. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Yeah, I mean, I don't talk too much about my education or my upbringing, but I was going into 6th and 7th grade and I couldn't read. The school system failed me. It wasn't until I met some amazing people that really helped bring me and bring my education up to where it should have been for my age group. They thought when I was born and as I grew older that I had learning disabilities. I still have learning disabilities, but they thought I was on the spectrum, is what they told my parents for years and years. So I was kind of put in the corner. They didn't bother teaching me just because they didn't know the way to teach me. And it wasn't until I met a very special individual that she really pulled me out of the darkness and helped me become who I am today. And then I became a teacher. I own multiple businesses. It's all about finding the direction and the methods that work best for you when it comes to learning. I hate the school systems. I'm fighting right now with my wife and I disagree a little bit on school systems and how things should be done and implemented. In regards to my son and everything. I'm not going to go into details with it because she'll hate me if I go into details. It's just we have different opinions. That's all it comes down to. SafeMoon price reveal. SafeMoon may be on a cusp of a 90% rally. That's some good news for everybody still holding on to SafeMoon. I heard there were some issues going on with the SafeMoon Trust wallet and people losing their tokens on the Trust wallet. Don't give out your private keys, guys. Don't give out your seed keys. It's that simple. That's what's happening. They were storing their private keys and their seed keys on like a Google Drive, and they were getting hacked. Not very smart. Write it down, put it in a lockbox, save it. I'm planning to ruin my AMC average share price to buy another 100 shares for my folks and 10 each for my closest friends and family. Should I throw in another 50 shares for my ex-wife's son's mom? When Safe Moon hits a cent. I love watching. I love checking these out. These crack me up sometimes. There's some very creative people out there. So we have $754 million in hedges losses, and such a sweet sound. That was yesterday, or that's today actually. Article on Bazinga highlighting the short seller's loss. This is from Ortex. At the time we released this data, the figures were correct. However, taking into accurate account yesterday, aftermarket losses, AMC and GME totaled $754 million. Some incredible losses. Crazy stuff. I mean, we got some huge market makers. We have people doing huge things. Everybody was talking. I mean, the last squeeze we had was GME, right? GameStop, and everybody's worried. What's going to happen to the company after the squeeze? What's going to happen, moving forward? Well, look what they're doing with the money that they have. From that short squeeze and the price that they have right now around GameStop still being in the triple digits, they are utilizing those gains and those assets to sustain the company, to grow the company, and to step it into the future. They understand that, more people stream now and download their games. There really isn't a huge need for, discs anymore, or cartridges if you still use cartridges. I think we're going to see more of the GameStops and the stores turn into more of a retro space for retro gamers, and they're going to do an online streaming service for games through and they're already talking about NFTs. You can do a GameStop NFTs now, or it's coming soon. I just read an article yesterday about it. So they're taking their money and they're utilizing. That's what we're going to see with AMC. We're going to see amazing things happen with the money that they're growing. The gall of some people. I hand them a pencil and paper and they get angry. Jeez. Why can't I use my phone? Why can't I text? I love technology. I'm all about technology. But I still turn to my paper and pencil and my notebooks whenever I need to do something. Whenever I'm describing something or teaching something, I'm going to a whiteboard, I'm going to my notebook, I'm drawing a picture, I'm giving examples. So I mentioned it in the thumbnail, big news for cryptocurrency. If you guys aren't aware of it, ARK investor Cathie Woods has invested or bought quite a bit of Bitcoin. She is, putting her money where her mouth is I think what the article actually quoted. And she picked up a huge amount of holdings in Bitcoin. Her prediction is that Bitcoin's going to hit 500,000. So, she really is a strong believer in the fact that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin's going to hit 500,000. So she did what she said. She put her money where her mouth is, and she bought heavily into Bitcoin, which is awesome to see. And I think we're going to see some good price movement with Bitcoin moving forward. Let me refresh the charts here a little bit. Let's see what Bitcoin's at right now. So we're at 39, just above, just below 40. Bouncing off an old resistance line here. Got to get up past 42.40 to keep moving forward. I think we're in a nice steady band for a while. I think that's what we're going to see. Not a bad price for cryptocurrency, guys. It really isn't. Of course, we all want to see those bigger numbers to catch those bigger gains, but strength and stability are far more important, in my opinion, than massive gains. Let's check out our favorite here, Doge. Doge has rallied up past my resistance band here, doing well. Not as high as it has been in the past, obviously, hitting super highs. But, it's going to take time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like Elon Musk says, Dojo for Doge, and it actually implements his supercomputer for the Doge network is going to spike it straight to $1. It's going to take a multiple facet or multiple tier approach, catalysts, to really push Dogecoin up to a stable $1, not just skyrocket it to a parabolic state and push it straight to $1 from 30 cents. I'm talking about a nice stable growth to $1 and beyond is what I want to see. I'm holding on to Doge. I'm still mining it. I'm all about it. I'm gonna keep mining. I'm gonna keep holding it. I'm going to keep using it, and on that, no matter what the price is, I try to utilize it and use it as much as I possibly can. Ooh. Why is it not giving me GME? Yeah, after yesterday's news of GME starting to sell NFTs or getting into the NFT space and getting involved in cryptocurrency alone, price just went straight up. That's awesome. Well, let me zoom out here. I want to see the day chart. So we had our squeeze here. 485 was the top. 483, 484 was the top of the squeeze. Dipped back down, had a nice little second squeeze here. I wouldn't say really squeeze. I think it's more of a rebound based upon volume. And I think it's going to probably stabilize in this zone. I really do, between 320 and 270. I think it's a good range for GameStop to be consistent in. It may be a position that I want to look at getting involved in regards to options in the future. Whenever I get into options, I try to go at least a couple weeks out and purchase out of the money call options. That way I can, not geared towards closing them out in, a couple hours. I'm going to hold them for a little bit. See if I have any positions available right now. So like this SPY contract I just opened up today. I'm down $42, $40. I'm going to hold on to it for some time. I have time to close it. June 25th. I have a couple weeks to exercise this contract. Plenty of time for SPY to really push past that $424 range. So I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to try to at least collect 10% on any one of my option calls. I'm not so worried about my positions in the negative, like T-Mobile here is, I'm down $4,000, but I'm up quite a bit on AMC, and I was up quite a bit on Dogecoin a while back. So I have gains in those. So any loss that I have here is going to help me with the gains and the taxes at the end of the year. That's why I always say accept your gains, accept and move past your gains and acknowledge your losses, because losses do just as much for you as gains do. May not be an immediate turnaround, and it may hurt you a little bit when you see losses like that, but you can always use your losses as a tax write-off, especially when you have 6 figures worth of capital gains that that you have to collect on. If AMC takes off like we're saying, and I become a millionaire, and like I hope a lot of you guys become millionaires, you have to pay a 37% capital gains tax. Factor that in. 37%, guys. Minimum 37% capital gains tax. That's why I'm putting it here on YouTube, and I'm putting it on my because I can use all of this. Say, look, hey, it's all tax writable. It's all tax deductible. That's why I'm doing it. There's a rhyme and a reason for everything. I'm showing you my portfolio. I'm being open with my portfolio for that reason. I'm trying to use and dive into a lot of those loopholes that are available for financial influencers like myself or entrepreneurs like myself. I'm talking about my gains. I'm talking about my losses because I know at the end of the year it's all tax deductible, especially those losses. Don't be afraid of them, guys. Don't be afraid of them. Loving the conversations over on Discord. You guys have been awesome, super respectful. I know we had a bit of a hiccup this past week with some people shilling some miners, potentially being scams. Who knows? I encourage you guys to trade and to buy and sell items through the Discord server with extreme caution. I've said this before, and I posted on Discord. I run an LLC. I run a limited liability company that I have set up in such a way where if you guys would like to purchase things through the Discord, my LLC can act as an escrow or a holding position. Somebody will send the item that you're trying to purchase. You send the cryptocurrency or the fiat to account that everybody agrees on. And then once we get the tracking number, I release the funds and so on. So I don't mind being the middleman. I know it's not something that everybody wants to do. It should be a peer-to-peer transaction, but protect yourselves. I'm not doing it for any gains. I just want to see everybody come out on top and not lose any more money than I know. A couple people have already been scammed through the Discord server, and those members have been, kicked and are being investigated. So don't want to see that happen anymore. Reach out to me, reach out to some of the moderators, and do your research before you go ahead and buy something from some random person. I see Spy's already coming back a little bit for me. Hopefully we can close it out today or tomorrow with a 10% gain. I'm happy with that. I'm already up between today and last week. I think I'm up just over $3,000 in profitable trades. And you guys can see my losses. I'm holding on to my losses. I haven't closed them out yet. So you don't realize profit or loss until the position is closed. Still playing around with Thinkorswim. If anybody is using TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim, let me know. I'm struggling with this platform, to be honest with you. I really don't fully understand it. I'm trying my best to get a grasp on it. They just got a lot going on. I'm like, what the hell is that shit? I hate my charts being locked over to the right. I like to have, the moving average or the current price a little bit into the center or just off center. And I can't figure out why my platform won't let me unlock it from that position. It's really starting to bother me. They got some cool tools. They got a nice little platform here. I'm only holding about 18 shares of AMC on this platform just because I don't fully understand it yet. It's got a lot of tools and a lot of resources available, but they don't put it in a clean package that's easily accessible, I'm having to do a lot of digging and a lot of research just to do some of these simple, fine detailed trading that I do on Webull far easier. I do like this. The one thing that they do have going for them is like Robinhood and some of the other platforms like E-Trade, they do offer you a debit card that you can utilize with their platform. You can get a checking account along with a brokerage account, and you can also transfer your margin into your debit card and use it that way as well, which is nice. They also offer forex trading, futures trading, options. So they have a lot of different, platforms for different investors. I'm going to do my best to learn it as fast as I possibly can, but it's not going well right now, I'll tell you that much. Webull is a little bit more advanced than I would say Robinhood. Charts are nice and somewhat clean. Level 2s aren't bad. I'm debating whether I should switch to Webull or to Thinkorswim. I'm up in the air, guys. I really am. All right, so we're approaching the lunchtime bell here for the market. We'll have to see what goes on after lunch and after hours. I'm using E-Trade and Webull. I mean, Ronald, I started out with E-Trade. I mean, I was one of the first people to download the E-Trade mobile app. I mean, I used to make trades on a flip phone. I mean, that's how long I've been using E-Trade for. E-Trade's a great platform. I just think they're a little bit behind in times right now in regards to the free commissions and different things like that. They definitely have stepped up their game. They are right on par, in my opinion, with TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. Option contracts are right around the same price. To execute an option contract, I think, is roughly between 50 and 65 cents, which isn't a lot of money, but when you're trading dozens of contracts in a single transaction, it can get a little pricey. So it's up in the air for me. Looking at options on Webull, not super complicated. We're looking at both calls and puts here. I can select just calls since I try to trade mainly calls. You can select your date, how far out you want to go. It's not super complicated. It's not bad. Robinhood has a lot of good things going for it. I mean, they make option trading very simple, but that can be dangerous for a lot of new investors as well. So it's a catch-22. Robinhood, they suck overall. Their brokerage accounts, their margin accounts, the way they handle their business, but it's very clean and sleek, and not a lot of over-the-top stuff. But someone who is day trading wants that over-the-top stuff. I want to see more information. So I hate Robinhood for the fact that they don't have too many tools to use, but I do like how clean it is. Webull gives you a lot more stuff than Robinhood. It's not as overburdened as a E-Trade's trading platform or Thinkorswim's trading platform. So, but they don't offer you a debit card. They don't offer you, they do have margin, but if I'm a day trader, I want access to my funds. I don't want to have to wait 7 days to transfer positions every week for me to go pay my bills. I want to be able to pay my bills from my brokerage account like I can through Robinhood, like I can through Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade. Yeah, you're one of the lucky few, man. I didn't hear about Webull until after I had already signed up for Robinhood. And again, it's only recently gone downhill for me. I've used Robinhood for a while, and it's only recently, with everything that's been happening with the market, that I've left. It's left such a bad taste in my mouth. I finally got my Robinhood account unlocked. My Robinhood account was locked for a long time, and they couldn't give me information on why it was locked. So I finally got it unlocked, finally got everything settled. But I think once the squeeze is over, I'm definitely going to be done with Robinhood. I don't think I have enough time. I know I don't have enough time to pull out my 5,500 plus whatever shares of AMC and transition in time for the short squeeze. So I'm going to roll the dice a little bit and hope that I can catch some gains after the initial squeeze happens on the way down. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got my fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm not liking the volume that we're seeing on the sell side. That's a big wall, 1870, 1870, 1880. Why are we selling? Who's selling 25,000 shares, 26,000 shares? But you can tell on the volume, looking at the buy side, there are no hedgy orders in here. There's a large order here, but that's not enough to cover what the hedgies have. Ideally, we want to see this just either super high limits for figures, or we want to see no volume at all on the sell side. Either one. We want to see stop losses set super high, or we want to see no volume at all on the sell side and just tons of volume on the buy side. That to me is going to be a clear sign that, hey, the squeeze is here. My daughter opened the door, so I don't know if you can hear my miners humming in the back room, humming away. Hum. Got a red engulfing candle here. That might be a resistance point right there at $19. You know, solid numbers, 18, 19, 20, no decimals, just solid numbers. Like I said, 10, 20, 30, 18, 19, 20, those single digits, 1925, 1950, 1975, those are all hard numbers. Those are all mental resistance points for a lot of traders. So that could be what we're seeing right now, is that $19 resistance, or that mental resistance with AMC, just trying to get past that $19 mark. It'll be very interesting to see if we can actually pass the $19 mark, the $19.50 mark, and close above 20 today. I definitely think we're going to close above 20 tomorrow if people don't buy into all the FUD that's out there. Lots and lots of FUD. Anybody out there using crypto.com? I know we were talking about it a little bit the other day in the Discord server. Some guys had some questions about crypto.com and their earning versus staking stuff that they offer. I'm at a loss of words. My brain is fried. My brain is fried. My eyes hurt. My head hurts. I got popped eardrums and I'm yelling into a microphone. All for you guys. Funny. Funny, Ronald. Real funny. You got to build up that mental fortitude to combat that mental resistance. I'm mentally resisting getting out of bed every morning, but I still do it. Hell, I may be wearing a collared shirt, doesn't mean I'm wearing pants. 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm cracking open a cold one. This has been a rough. This past 2 weeks have been very, very exciting and very stressful. We had a super red week last week, and now we got a parabolic shift this week. Oop, I don't want to move that. Oop. I mean, last week was just tanked, and then this week we're going the opposite direction. I mean, remember all the FUD last week that everyone was saying, Wanda Group selling all their shares and all the yada yada yada, the FUD, and now all of a sudden, look at the price now. So yeah, we were talking a little bit. Let me pull it up now and just get away from the stock market a little bit. Try to talk crypto somewhat, if I can type correctly. Now, one of the bad things I'm hoping they change soon. If you're in the U.S., you can't use the Crypto.com exchange. You can only use the mobile app, which stinks. But it's a great platform. I've been using it for a long time, back when the CRO coin was considered MCO. So it's gone through some changes. It's gone through some updates. It's a great little platform. I mean, there's not too many. I mean, Binance does now. You can get a Binance card, and you can stake and earn on Binance and BlockFi. I like how clean Crypto.com is. I like how smooth it is for me to purchase cryptocurrency. It makes it super simple for me. So that's my wife. She's amazing. Love her to death. There's not too many platforms that offer you up to 14% interest on a stable coin. Stable coin being like TrueUSD or USDT, Tether. Those are all stable coins. So a lot of guys, what they're doing is they're staking these stable coins, or earning interest on them, taking the rewards and purchasing DOGE, and then just kind of rolling it over and keeping the growth going. There's a number of systems in place that you can implement with Crypto.com to gain passive income, whether you're just staking CRO and you're collecting the rewards for staking, tens of thousands of CRO tokens, and then you're taking those staked tokens and turning them into SDT and staking those. It's a lot of compounding interest. If you guys have ever looked into compounding interest, it is one of the craziest ways to make money, in my opinion. Compounding interest is, you earn interest and you put it back into the original pot, and you just keep rolling it over. So as every transaction occurs, every time you get an interest payment and you're rolling it back into your principal balance, the next time the payment will be just slightly larger. It's that whole penny trick. What would you rather have, $1 million today or a magic penny that doubles every single day for 30 days? You take the penny, because at the end of 30 days you have far more than $1 million. That's kind of more or less the easiest way to describe compounding interest, is that magic penny. You know, they have DeFi, they have NFTs, they have margin trading if you're not in the U.S. Their earn program is phenomenal. Yeah, a couple guys were curious about the whole process with crypto.com. Crypto.com is not the only one. It's just one that I typically use. I use it every day. I buy my groceries with it and so on. But there are other platforms out there like BlockFi. You can gain interest using BlockFi, or you can gain interest using Binance. Binance has their own cryptocurrency card as well, where they do instant transactions. That's one thing Crypto.com doesn't have yet. They don't have instant, swipe your card transactions. You have to top up or add money to your card to use it like a checking account would. Where Binance, you would just hold whatever cryptocurrency you want and you set it to, when I swipe my card, I want to sell this cryptocurrency to cover the balance. And it's a Visa card, which is nice. But with the issues that Binance has been having lately within the U.S., I'm real happy that I stuck with Crypto.com. AMC just keeps on climbing. That's what I want to see. Let's go AMC. Broke past that resistance point. Let me zoom in here. Yep. So we got to close. This is an hour candle. Let's look at the 30-minute candle. So we got about 7 minutes or so for the half an hour candle to close above that $19 range to lock in and create a resistance point for that $19 level. If we can close above $19.50, that'd be even stronger for the 1 hour candle to close above $19. We see 3 straight days of just increasing volume. Anytime, Ronald, you want to come over, or maybe once AMC squeezes, I'll fly down to you and sit by the beach and we'll crack open a cold one. I'm all for it. My miners aren't doing too bad. I've been having issues with this miner overheating a little bit. It keeps resetting on me. This one's doing fairly well. I do have to tune them again. I did have to move them and clean them out. So I'll have to retune the chips. So I'm getting some hardware errors here. But overall, my miners are doing fairly well. I got them pointed at F2 pool right now to try that out and test that out. So we'll see how that works. I mean, I'll let you guys know. Can somebody tell me the fascination with cats and boxes? AMC squeeze moving to Hawaii. Absolutely, I'll be in Belize. I just moved out of a tropical climate. I love the beach. I love the water. I love the tropical climate. But I'm really happy where I am. I didn't think I would like this area as much as I do. I'm a little bit, 12 or, a couple hours north of where I used to live in Florida. I lived on the Gulf. I lived, a stone's throw away from the beach for a number of years, and I loved it. But I really like where I live now. It's really beautiful. So when AMC squeezes, I'll probably, or I know I am, not probably, I am going to be buying some land, a large piece of land. I'm going to be pulling the house off the grid, going completely solar wind power, water power, wells, you name it, off the grid. And I'm going to homestead it and just enjoy the gains. Zach, it could be. GME, we were talking about it earlier. GME had some news. They were talking about integrating NFTs and cryptocurrencies into the GameStop kind of platforms and streaming services that they're trying to push out. That news came out yesterday. Let me see if I can pull it up, actually. Let's see if we can do a little research, some live research here. Let's do some live digging. GME NFTs. Yeah, so nft.gamestop.com. This just came out yesterday. And this, I think, is why we're seeing such a huge price increase with GameStop. Power to the players, power to the creators. So they're creating games, they're creating in-game content using NFTs. Right now they're still building their team. I think that's a pretty cool play for GameStop. I'm very curious to see how they're going to implement NFTs, especially after Ethereum's 2.0 comes out, the London fork. Hopefully we'll get some better gas fees. I know you guys, I promised some of you guys some NFTs. I'm still working on it. Gas fees are just ridiculous right now. So I have to move some things around, but I will get those two guys your NFTs. I got them pinned over in the Discord, so I won't forget. I haven't forgotten. Just so you know, I haven't forgotten yet. Didn't forget. But yeah, Zach, I think GameStop has to do more with this, and it could potentially be, we're finally seeing the real squeeze for GME. Who knows? Is AMC following GME, or AMC is it's on its own thing? Yeah, trying to answer it for you, bud. GME, we can pull it up. Yeah, I think GME, the news came out just yesterday for the NFTs, and now we're seeing this. They also have a lot of positions closing in the green today when it comes to call positions. I think they kind of go hand in hand just based upon Wall Street bets, based upon the news and the FUD. They're both considered meme stocks, so they could be kind of moving in parallel with each other. However, I don't think they are dependent on each other. There are things in the works for AMC that don't have anything to do with GameStop. They're not tied to each other in that sense. They're not tied to each other in a legal manner, if you will. Just in the news and media and social media platforms are they tied together as being a meme stock. Maybe seeing a little bit of transfer of volume between the two of them. That's why we're seeing a price increase. But like I said, yesterday we had the news with GameStop NFTs. I think that's why we saw the price today. That came out yesterday evening, and then we shot up this morning. Yeah, I think it's transfer of power. I mean, I don't think they're tied. I think it's just the fact that they're both very social media driven right now. They're very, very popular. We got, I always wanted to visit Hawaii. Where are you at? Fantastic area to live. I'm very curious. I used to work with a gentleman, Ronald, that was his whole family was from Belize, and he talks very highly of it. Of course, he was a native, but from what I've seen and the pictures I've seen, it looks like a beautiful place. Definitely someplace that I would like to travel to. I want to do more traveling as my kids get older. Right now, they're fairly young, so as they get older and can maybe sustain a longer plane ride, I'll be doing some major traveling. Yeah, I definitely have a bucket list of places I want to go to. Belize is one of them. Hawaii. I have family in Italy I want to go see. Want to kind of trace my heritage a little bit and travel around. But hopefully AMC will allow me and many others to do that. We've seen the spike in cryptocurrency create hundreds of millionaires over the past couple of years, and now we're seeing another influx of financially secure individuals from GameStop and AMC. So we'll have to see how the market fares after this big squeeze. How many shares of AMC are you holding? I am holding. I got my notes here. Hold on. I got my notes. I'll give you an exact number. 5661. So Zach, just plenty. I'm holding across 4 different platforms, so not on one platform. The average, so we have just in North America, we were talking about the numbers earlier today regarding AMC, just to kind of bring you up to speed. Based upon what Aaron had said, the CEO of AMC, there is roughly 3.2 million shareholders in North America alone. We are not talking about global positions. We are just talking about North America, Canada, US, and Mexico. Holding 3.2 million or having 3.2 million individual shareholders. So if we do the numbers out, that's an average of roughly 170 shares per person, per shareholder. You and I are a prime example that dictates that shareholders are holding a lot more than 170 shares. And it's all over the place about people talking about that they own in the thousands or 4 digits worth of AMC. So there's a lot of synthetic shares out there. Even if your positions are synthetic shares, don't worry. They have to pay you for them. You did not create those synthetic shares. The hedge funds did. And this is how we are going to take them down. Shaolin Mountains in China are gorgeous. I love to go there and visit the monks and monasteries. It would be cool. I don't think I'd be allowed. I think they'd might kick me and my loud family out. Definitely not a quiet individual. Oh, if you talk to my wife, she'll tell you I don't talk enough, but it's all right. I think GameStop's probably going to retrace right around the 230 line for, potentially. It looks like a resistance point here. We're on a little bit of a downtrend right now. We'll have to see where it closes out. If the squeeze happens, when do you know is the time to sell? I've already got property. Right on, Ronald. I mean, you're living the life, man. I give you props. To answer Zach's question, when is the right time to sell your AMC shares? Oh, that is such a hard question to ask. Such a hard question to answer. We have been talking about it a little bit back and forth. Me personally, I am not selling until after the squeeze. I am going to wait for the squeeze. I am anticipating a circuit breaker to be tripped in regards to the market, whether it be on Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade, whether it be on, whatever platform you're trading on, a circuit breaker is going to get hit. This is going to be the biggest squeeze that we have ever seen. So I'm not expecting to catch the squeeze at the top. I'm going to sell my positions or dollar cost average out of my position as the price returns to earth. That is what I'm selling. That is my game plan. If we look at games, let me make this chart a little bit bigger so we can have a better understanding of what's going on. There we go. Right, so let's look at the GameStop squeeze. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the daily chart. Okay, so here was the GameStop squeeze, right? Where is it? I lost it. Okay, so this was the GameStop squeeze, right? We had a high of $5 or $514 was the top of the squeeze. A very small margin of people got out at that number. A small 1, 2, 3% of holders got out at that number, Zach. We're talking very, very small, minuscule. My game plan is to get out as it comes back down to earth. So sell a position here. This was a good candlestick to get out. Then we had a little bit of retracement. Sell another here, and so on. So I'm dollar cost averaging my position out. I may not be getting the highest of high value, but if you bought down here and you bought at $34 and you're selling at a couple hundred, you're still in the profit. That's what I'm betting on. That's what I'm kind of holding my breath for. I'm not predicting, or I'm not going to attempt to sell my shares at the top. I'm going to dollar cost average out as it returns to earth. That is my personal strategy. If you want to try to gain at the top, power to you. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I have the timing. I don't think I have the speed. I don't think my platforms are going to allow me to do it. So I'm going to dollar cost average out as the shares return back to earth. I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an answer. Don't stress about the squeeze. Everybody, biggest thing you can do, the most beneficial thing you can do right now for your own health is to set some reminders, set some alerts, and walk away. I have alerts set. When AMC hits $100, I have an alert. When it hits $500, when it hits $1,000, I have alerts set so I don't have to watch my charts all the time. I don't have to get carried away and hyper focused on it. The only reason I'm watching it now, and I'm watching it as frequently as I am, is because I have a YouTube channel about it and I talk about it, and I'm trying to keep up with the news for you guys. But when it comes to my trading, I'm trying to not focus on the FUD. I'm trying not to let the FUD and let the news influence my analysis and my technical skills that I have faith in on when and where the squeeze is going to happen and how hard it's going to squeeze. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of news, a lot of information. Take a little bit of it in, digest it, come up with your own conclusions, and debate yourself. Convince yourself. Have debates with yourself, if you will. That's a lot of what I do. Is I have a debate. When it's going to happen? It's a constant battle back and forth and conversation I have. I've been hearing AMC will go much higher than GameStop. Yeah. So if we look at the numbers for GameStop versus AMC, they don't have. We are. I don't want to give you a false information, but it's tough for me to give you. So roughly, a rough average, AMC is 30 to 40 times overbought in terms of short shares created than GameStop was. GameStop was considered a small squeeze, or a small amount of shares were shorted in GameStop compared to what is shorted now in regards to AMC and the hedge funds. We had small hedge funds shorting GameStop. We had, these little guys. Now we have Citadel. Citadel is what bails out the other hedge funds, and they have shorted AMC. Just to kind of give you, put things in perspective. Citadel is one of the largest holders for AMC right now for short, or naked shorting is what causes a short squeeze. Is the synthetic shares. Naked shorting is very illegal. That's what's causing the short squeeze to happen. We don't have any utilization. We don't have any shares available anymore for days and days and days and days. We're just starting now to see some shares being available for borrowing. There's no short shares available out there for AMC. It's 100% utilization of the shares. 100% of the outstanding shares, free floating shares, have been purchased and held for AMC for a number of days. It's not right now, obviously, because people are getting in and out of the positions, but as an average, we have a 100% utilization rate for AMC. GameStop wasn't even close to that. We saw 60% utilization. So there was still 40% in the market available for borrowing. So the hedge funds still had an out. We have taken away that position for them. We have taken away their out. We as retail investors and individual shareholders are holding all of the shares of AMC. The only thing that we are seeing in the market right now is manipulation and FUD and synthetic shares being pushed back and forth. That is all we are seeing, in my opinion. My daughter is so cute. She goes, "I miss you. You've been working so hard. I haven't even gotten a chance to talk to you." She's adorable. Yeah, AMC will go. I feel, based upon the numbers that I have read and the research that I have done, AMC will go far higher than GameStop ever did. Um, I think that we are far more united over the front of the entire platform based upon what I'm seeing. I feel that we are holding, if not all, the majority of all free floating shares of AMC. I feel that hedge funds have overextended themselves, and we saw, based upon GameStop, we saw their tactics. We know what to expect now. We saw their games, we saw their FUD, we saw the bots, we saw short ladder attacks. People are way more educated now than they were just a couple months ago with GameStop. Just with that knowledge of being more educated in what's happening, that alone is a huge catalyst to push this exponentially up. Um, the volume around AMC is far higher than GameStop. GameStop has been not I wouldn't say failing, but has been struggling to keep up with the market that they are in. But movies, AMC, they have been right at the forefront this entire time. They have contracts with production houses, and they have contracts with movie makers that they have to release movies in their theaters. That's how it goes. They don't, theaters are a necessity to the bigger, movie making industry right now. And they have implemented other resources, streaming services, membership programs. So I feel that they are within their market demographic. I feel that they are not falling stale or stagnant, and that they have very strong momentum. So I think they're far stronger than GameStop in terms of a company standpoint. So that's a big catalyst. We have the CEO of AMC, I feel, is far more knowledgeable than the CEO of GameStop was. He's playing chess against the hedgies. He knows the games. He's seen it before. He knows what to expect. So that's another huge catalyst and another check mark for AMC. This is probably going to be the last squeeze of this size we will ever see. There's too many regulations and laws being passed that we will ever see a squeeze like this happen again. They are arresting people. They are cracking down on naked short sellers. We just had a CEO of not a huge hedge fund, but a fairly large hedge fund. And I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I apologize. I'll try to post it on Discord. But he was arrested and tried and found guilty for naked short selling, which is illegal. He created synthetic shares. He got caught with it, caught doing it on the books, and he's going to jail for it. Right now, the hedges, Citadel has so much power. That's the only thing keeping them out of the system right now and keeping them out of jail is the amount of money and power that they have. Come the second, that won't be the case anymore. They will have to either liquidate everything to report this. So they have 48 hours roughly to liquidate everything, I think is what it comes down to. If they have synthetic shares, which we know they do. So this is going to be a huge, huge squeeze. Like I said, I'm holding for the moon, and I am going to collect my gains on the way down and back to Earth, where I can purchase my house and I can live in comfort. Because no oxygen on the moon, so you really can't live there. So I'm going to wait for the return to Earth to get my gains. or to Mars, wherever you want to go to. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it that way, GameStop shot to the moon, AMC is going to shoot to Mars. Let's say I become a millionaire. Fingers crossed, transfer all the money of my bank will trigger a red flag. Am I right? Don't do that. If you become a millionaire, hold it in your brokerage account and reinvest it into something stable. And only pull it out as you need it. That is what I'm doing. So at a minimum, we talked about this earlier, at a minimum, short-term capital gains is 37%. 37% is going to the IRS when you cash out. If you hold it in a brokerage account and you reinvest it immediately into something stable, say like the S&P 500, or another ETF, whether it be a dividend ETF or something, and you reinvest it, you are not going to pay as much on taxes. I'm using my YouTube channel. I'm using my different platforms. I am racking up the losses as tax write-offs and tax credits. I suggest you guys do the same. May not be able to get on YouTube and start it on platform that way, but take your losses where they come. They're tax deductible. You can write off your losses, and I don't recommend pulling out your money. I really don't. If you become a millionaire, so let's look at some numbers here. I'm going to try to do some simple math. Okay, so I have 5,661.45 shares. Right. Let's just say I sold, or the price, I'm not going to say sold, let's say the price goes to $1,000 a share, right? That's $5.66 million. If you were to liquidate it at that point, you are automatically going to lose 37% right off the bat. So now I'm only profiting $2 million. Still a large amount of money for so many people, but you go buy a house, you have to pay taxes on the house. You buy a car, you got to pay taxes on the car. That $2 million will go far faster and disappear far sooner than you expect, especially if you cash it out. I recommend you hold the $5 million in a brokerage account and you immediately contact a tax attorney. This is what I'm doing. I already have one lined up and on retainer. You contact a tax attorney, you transfer everything into a trust or a Roth IRA or something that can give you a steady income based upon those values. You can live off of $2 million. You can live far better off of $5 million, right? If you just reinvest that $5 million immediately into a high yielding or just a moderate yielding dividend stocks or dividend portfolio is what I am doing, I can live off those gains then for the rest of my life. My family will be secure. I'm going to reinvest everything into real estate and into dividend yielding portfolios, so I don't have to cash it out. I will pay taxes on the dividends I receive, but I will not pay taxes on the gains from AMC. Hopefully that makes sense. More work stuff. Back up, tape drive broken. Those things suck. Just write it down. Hands out book. Pencil. Math is wrong. Right. Sorry, you're correct, Keith. The $2 million is what you would pay to the IRS. So you'd be left with just over $3 million. You're correct. I did that backwards. Sorry. But still, you're paying 37%. Is what I'm trying to get at. You're paying 37% in short-term capital gains to the IRS if you cash out. Reinvest. Don't pull it out of your brokerage account. If you want to buy a house, so the method that I'm going to use, because I am looking at a large property, the method that I am going to be using is I'm going to be putting 50% down, if not more, and I'm going to be verifying my assets by showing my balances. Showing that you have balances to a bank giving you a mortgage is far better. Plus, if you're paying a mortgage, you're also paying taxes, and at the end of the year, your taxes can be written off. Paying for a house cash up front is great, but then you can't forget that you got to pay taxes on that property every single year. You're not going to get away from paying taxes. You're not going to get away from paying capital gains. So you're going to pay capital gains, and you're going to pay taxes on the house, and you're going to pay taxes on the property, and so on. There's a lot of things that you'll get taxed on. The way I'm doing it, the way I'm planning on purchasing my house if I become a millionaire through AMC, is I am going to solidify my mortgage through my brokerage account, verifying my position and my holdings. They will most likely, in most cases, a bank will give you a mortgage based upon what your asset is, what your value is. I'm going to pull out a couple $1,000, pay off all of my debt, hold the remaining value of my AMC position in a brokerage account, reinvest it, verify my holdings with a bank to get a mortgage on a property that I can then pay for via dividend yielding investments. Hope that makes sense. It's not impossible to do. You can buy a house. I don't recommend pulling out all of your assets. You're going to pay crazy taxes. There's a lot percent to pay. It is a crazy amount. Damn, if 11.9 AMC makes me a millionaire, what going to make you guys? Getting to the good stuff now. I don't know if I'm getting to the good stuff, but I mean, see, Zach has got a mortgage approved for $400K. So, but how much are you putting down, Zach? That is the question. You put 20% down. Are you going for an FSA, first time home buyer's loan? You're only putting 3% down. There's different rates that apply. If you put more money down, your rates become lower and you pay less per month. So you can pull out, do the math a little bit, pull out 20% of your gains and put down 50% on the home, pay $600 a month from your dividend yielding portfolio and have it set up an automatic payment and never have to worry about it again. There's lots of little loopholes that I'm just scratching the surface with. There are so many ways you're going to pay your taxes no matter what. If you pull your gains out of your account, you're going to be paying taxes. Reinvest it immediately into something else. Like, I'm talking like same day. I'm moving, as soon as I cash out of AMC, within the first hour of me pulling out my gains, I'm putting it into a stable ETF like QQQ or SPY. That's it. I'm going to try to diversify as much as I possibly can, and I'm going to reinvest everything and only pull out when I absolutely have to. That way I can avoid paying those taxes. It's possible, probably best if I find a tax attorney. Yes. Find a tax attorney. If you are looking at 7 figures, if you're looking at 6 figures, find a tax attorney. If you're just looking at, 5 figures, find a tax attorney. These are considered short-term gains. These are short-term capital gains. You have to hold for a year to not collect the short-term capital gains. Watch me. You're a special case. That's not fair, Ronald. It's not fair, man. Find a Swiss bank account. I don't know what to tell you. But yes, that's what I'm doing. If I strike it big and I become a multimillionaire based upon my holdings, first thing I am doing is texting my tax attorney, texting my CPA, and texting my business CPA. Well, you're gonna need help. Pay the money to do it correctly. I'd rather pay $5,000 to a tax attorney than pay millions of dollars to the IRS. Money makes money, but at the same time, Uncle Sam wants his. I try to do whenever it's tricky there. There's a lot of loopholes, taxes. What are those? Yeah, right. I try to set up LLCs or corporations for a lot of my holdings or a lot of my ventures, if you will. YouTube, not included. Um, we have, so for example, the way I have YouTube and Side Hustle Enterprise structured, I have an LLC. It's Masco is the name of the LLC, and underneath that LLC is my subsidiary, which is Side Hustle Enterprise. I pay myself through Masco. Everything that I talk about here, even though they are personal accounts, but because I'm relating them to YouTube and I talk about them here, it's all tax deductible. My office is tax deductible. My house is tax deductible. My rent is tax deductible. Because I run most of my stuff through LLCs. And you pay less capital gains on an LLC than you would as an individual. I think it's like 15% versus 37%. I'm not an expert in it. That's why I've hired a tax attorney. I'm not Graham Stephan. I'm not Meet Kevin. Those guys are geniuses when it comes to finances. I know a good amount about business management. I know a great amount about business ethics and production management. But I'm not a tax expert. I have a tax attorney for a reason. I know where to start and where to begin. I just need help with the ending. That's why the tax attorney is there. Ooh, what's up, party people? Steamy here. I had to change away from the... yeah, Ronald, you got a special case, man. I mean, I a lot of people I think are going to be doing the same thing. I got a couple of guys that own resorts in Costa Rica, a couple of friends that I've done real estate with in the past who own tax, what do they call them? Tax sanctuaries, if you will, in Costa Rica. So, and they run a lot of their LLCs and their money through that, and it's tax less. There are tons and tons of loopholes out there. Find a good tax attorney that you can trust. Find a CPA that you can trust. Those are keys. People that you can trust. Reach out to family members. Reach out to, the rich second uncle or cousin or whatever, and find somebody that they trust that you can trust. It's going to be a very interesting 2022, 2021 tax season for a lot of people. Everyone talks about Deep fucking Value and his GameStop holdings. The reason why he isn't selling or hasn't sold during the squeeze is not because he's trying to catch more gains, is because he's trying to pay less taxes. That's what it comes down to for him, guys. Not the fact that he's a multimillionaire because of his YOLO into GameStop, but he understands that capital gains, short-term capital gains are 37%. That's why he's holding. I guarantee when that year and 6 months comes up, or whatever that time frame is, he'll be selling his position. Because he did the math. If he sold and collected the short-term capital gains and paid the 37%, he'd be paying far less out in those than he would via holding on to it for a year and taking more, or taking less out. But he'd still be taking... Oh, coffee. What is it? It's very hot.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
It burned my hand.
You're supposed to drink it hot. It's good for inflammatory stuff.
Thank you. My amazing wife brought me some tea and coffee. I don't know. Transfer my AMC from Robinhood to TD Ameritrade. I have 1,000 shares in Cash App. Zach, how long did it take you to transfer? Because that's something that I've been, wanting to do, but just haven't done it. If you're buying a house, TD Ameritrade is probably the best place to have your positions. TD Ameritrade is a bank in itself. It is a financial institution, unlike Robinhood, which is just a brokerage. TD Ameritrade offers checking accounts, offers margin, offers so many other platforms that you probably can get a extremely low rate moving your mortgage through TD Ameritrade where you're holding your assets. So you might want to look into that. 5 days. Yeah, I don't think I have enough time, unfortunately. 5 days. I'm here in 5 to 7 days transferring over from Robinhood to TD Ameritrade, so I'm gonna have to hold on to it. Yeah, I can't risk it. I'll catch the gains on the way down. You know, I'll have to take the risk. You know, and the circuit breaker can affect TD Ameritrade as well. It can affect the whole entire market. So that's kind of more or less the feeling that I have with it. I don't think it's really going to matter in the long term where my position is based upon my strategy and how hard it's going to squeeze. Pretty good, pretty good. I guess it's called golden tea. Tastes good. Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier, and I'll mention again. I think this price that we're seeing now is just AMC returning to a stable level prior to the June 2nd date. I don't think this is the short squeeze. I just think this is a true level of AMC. I think this is a normal price for AMC. Yes, we saw it come back to that price very soon. I just think that this is where we need to be. Based upon the history of AMC. I mean, let's zoom out. Let's look at weeks. So look at 2017, look at 2018, look at 2019. 2019, it almost spent all of its time, 2018, 2019, in this $20 range. It spent 2017 and 2016 in the $30 range. So right in the middle, right where we are now at the $20 range, is a normal trading level for AMC. I think that's where we're getting to. I think that's the numbers that we are approaching prior to the squeeze. Huge manipulation with hedge funds driving the price down to get out of their positions to collect profit. We are now with everybody on board holding positions in AMC, retail investors. We are seeing a true AMC value in a proper range. Look at this. We had a huge section. Let me get my rectangle out. Look at that. That's trading sideways to me. 2019. Oh. So we have 2016. Let's say July of 2017 to September of 2019. It stayed in that range. It stayed in that $15, $12 to $20 range. That is a normal volume. Those are our normal, consistent levels for AMC, and that's the price that we are at right now. That's all that is to me. That on top of potentially a gamma squeeze with the amount of media attention that AMC is getting. This is not the squeeze. This is nowhere near the squeeze, in my opinion. I don't see the squeeze starting until we hit this 161% Fibonacci sequence line and we hold above it. You know, I drew this line in here because this was a high. $26 is a high for AMC. It's going to pass those guys. We have time. We have time. We have time. Don't jump the gun. You know, even if it starts selling off and you start seeing a downtrend, dollar cost average out of it. You're still going to get gains. I can withdraw small amounts of money in my bank. Yes. Yeah, so depending on how your brokerage account is set up, the way I'm looking to set mine up, the reason why I am more apt to transition to TD Ameritrade from Robinhood and Webull is because they have systems in place. So you can get a TD Ameritrade bank account, a checking account, where you can instantly transfer your positions or assets into your cash account and go buy things. I like that a lot. Plus, they have Roth IRAs, they have trusts, they have retirement plans, they have mortgages. TD Ameritrade is a complete financial institution. It is a great place to be. TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, financial institutes like that, that's where the rich keep their money. That's where you want to keep your money because they give you a full-fledged service package. Robinhood doesn't do that. Webull doesn't do that. Webull does have like Roth IRAs and stuff, but they don't have a card. That's why I'm transitioning more or less. I think at the end of the day, I'm probably going to transition to think or swim, set myself up with a diversified dividend portfolio that I can live off for the rest of my life. That's how I'm looking at it. Keith says, I don't know about, but if AMC is returning to normal values and hedges already have shorts in place, isn't it advantageous that the return of price is setting up for the squeeze? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. The return to its normal price is positioning AMC for the squeeze. I don't think we are going to see the squeeze before next week. I think June 2nd, after we get the shares counts in, that's when we are going to see the squeeze start. Right now, this is a gamma squeeze attached to the SEC. I talked about this a little bit on Monday. The SEC had completely blocked access for all investors, hedges included, from using dark pool trading. That's when we started seeing the climb back in AMC. That's when people started buying back into AMC. That was huge of the SEC to do that. That's when we started seeing people get arrested for naked shorting and so on. So this is normal price action. This is a normal level, not normal volume, obviously, because it's going parabolic. It's going straight up. But we are reaching the normal trading levels of AMC is what I'm talking about. These are typical average numbers between $15 and $21 is where AMC should trade in on a regular basis unless something big happens. We are setting up for the squeeze. Absolutely. You are right on point, Keith. That is what we are doing. We're setting up for the squeeze. Wish I had something to stir my coffee with. Save yourself some money, broke up with a girlfriend. Yeah, the joke I make to my wife is we can't afford to get a divorce, so she's stuck with me. But if AMC squeezes, that won't be the case anymore. I better watch out. You will have to report it, but it won't be taxed the same because as long as you reinvest it immediately after, it's not, you're not pulling it out. You're not what's the word I'm looking for? You're not solidifying your gains. You're reinvesting them. So as long as you're keeping them in the same brokerage account, so you transferred, that's the right thing to do. If you were to have closed out your Robinhood account, taken the cash, and then redeposited the cash into another brokerage account, you would have had to pay taxes on that transaction. But since you transferred it to another account, you're not paying taxes at that point. As long as it's in that investment portfolio, you're not going to pay those capital gains taxes on them. You will pay some taxes, but it won't be the high of 37% because they're not being utilized and realized. You don't profit and loss isn't realized until a position is closed and executed. Again, I'm not a tax expert. You may want to reach out to a tax attorney, even a CPA. There's tons of platforms out there. You can get on like LegalZoom.com and just ask questions to a tax professional. There's a lot out there. I recommend doing it because it may be different from state to state, county to county, country to country. You know, Ronald is talking about not paying Uncle Sam. That's because he's in Belize. So. If the IRS is listening, I pay my taxes every year for all my companies. Yeah, so this last candle here on the 1 hour chart just barely closed above 19. I'd like to see this one close above 19.50 to solidify that $19 number in. Someone else said to put it in cryptocurrency wallet. it's going to be very difficult to do that from a TD Ameritrade account. Robinhood and Webull, you don't have cryptocurrency wallets, not your wallets, not your keys, not your crypto. So investing in cryptocurrency through Webull or Robinhood is not the answer. To invest in cryptocurrency, you would have to completely withdraw all of your money from TD Ameritrade into cash and then buy cryptocurrency with it. So in that process of pulling out everything from TD Ameritrade or Webull or whatever brokerage account you're using and putting it into cash to purchase cryptocurrency, they're going to hit you right then and there, and you're going to pay taxes on it. When I trade cryptocurrency and I trade, on a larger scale, I make my trades, I make my, my gains, and I convert everything to a stable coin. Whether I'm staking, whether I'm earning, whether I'm trading, I try to keep my crypto as my crypto, and I only liquidate it when I have to. I do it quite a bit because I use my CRO and my crypto.com wallet to pay for groceries and pay my rent. But because my office is inside my house is a tax write-off for when I pay my rent, so it kind of cancels each other out. Loopholes, guys, loopholes. If the IRS is listening, I don't like you. Lower my tax rates. Cheers. That's great. That's great. Is this the beginning of the short squeeze for AMC? We got letterhead over in Discord asking if this is the beginning of the squeeze. No. Join the live stream. My most important worry is my baby mama got divorced in 2013. I paid child support weekly, and how will this affect that? So you made this money after you married her and after you divorced her. You may have to increase your child support slightly based upon the level of I'm not a divorce lawyer. But there are key terms. Give me a second here. Let me dig deep in my brain. Keep says, "Don't tell her." Love it. Comfort of life. So that's what I'm looking for. So if you're giving your child comfort, a better comfort of living in your position, when you have custody of him versus when she has him, that comfort of life has to continue and transfer over to her. You don't have to give her half, you don't have to give her a quarter, but you do have to probably take care of your son more, or your child, whatever, daughter, whatever you have. So you will probably have to pay a little bit more, but you can fight it or try to get complete custody of your kid and do it that way, because now you are giving them and providing them a better, sustainable life. Leave the country. I'm paying $90 a week. Yeah, you're probably going to have to pay a little bit more, man. I mean, especially if you become a millionaire or gain custody. Buy her a new husband. That's awesome. I wish I could tip you guys. That was a good one. keep every and again, man, best thing you can do is to keep as much as you possibly can locked up in a retirement account or Roth IRA. So the biggest thing that, you know, the most helpful thing that I've ever read in my life is a book that was written about the Vanderbilt family and the Vanderbilt wealth. I'll try to find the actual title of it. I recommend that everybody reads it. Hold on, let me stop here for a second. Usually it's based on your income and if other parties know to go. Adjustment. Yeah, I think Rob's right on point there. Depends on state. But there are loopholes. So one of the biggest things that I learned from, one of the biggest books that I learned from, never married, no kids. Ronald's got the right idea. I read a book about Vanderbilts and how they acquired their wealth. The Vanderbilt family, and primarily the founder, the railroad tycoon that started, you know, the Vanderbilt family's wealth, hated banks, hated financial institutes. His goal in life was to get away from them, and he did that. Banks were coming to him for bailouts. Wells Fargo was bailed out multiple times by him. So he set up different ways of doing this. He became his own bank, and that's more or less what I'm trying to do. So my goal is to have some money put into high dividend yielding positions to pay my monthly living expenses, and the rest of it are going to go into a self-managed Roth IRA that I can then lend against or borrow from at terms that I set. Look into that. Look into the Vanderbilt family. Look into self-managed Roth IRAs. When it is locked up and assets are locked up like that, you don't pay as much taxes on a Roth IRA account, and she may not have access to it. You may be able, because it's money that is locked up. You can lend against it and borrow against it, but you can't withdraw it without having to pay extreme amounts of fees. Ooh, Rob, $550 a month, man. Ouch. I do have a spoon. I don't know how old the spoon is, but I have a spoon. I'll do this off camera. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, Zach, there's definitely ways to protect yourself and protect your asset. But at the end of the day, it's your kid. You got to take care of your kids. Do the best you can to take care of our kids, right? And that's just about, hopefully you can come to some agreement with your ex-wife and she's not completely batso. No problem, man. No problem at all. You may want to look into also setting up an LLC or a trust for your kid. If you set up a trust and put money into the trust for them, it's not your money anymore. It is their money. It may be a benefit to kind of getting away from some taxes, making sure that your kid is secure. You know, your quality of life is obviously increasing, but you're not paying exorbitant, crazy amounts of money for child support. I just don't want my child support to go from $9,000 to $9,000 a week if she finds out I'm my winnings. Yeah, that's an extreme case. I think you may probably end up in like Rob's realm where you're paying like $500 a month. But again, you have outs, you have tax secured investments, self-managed Roth IRAs, trust funds, things like that. Yeah, I guess that all depends on what state you're in. I know if you are in Massachusetts, you continue to pay child support as long as they, if they go to college. So that could be until they're 24. Yeah, what I would do is I would set up a trust for him. I'd set up a trust for him that when he's 18 he gets, and lock up the asset, lock up everything, the amount. So say she comes at you. These are all hypotheticals here, and I don't know how this would actually stand up in court. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I know a little bit about a lot, pretty much what it comes down to. So say she finds out your winnings, and she takes you to court and requests more for your child support. And you say, really can't do that. My winnings or my investments panned out for me, yes. However, I need them to sustain life and, provide for my son because we have 50-50 custody. And then, what you can say is, say she comes at you with $1,000 a month, right, for child support or whatever it is, $1,200 a month. Say, okay, you see their offer. Say, I will pay X amount a month. Let's say $500 a month, and I will take that remaining amount of money and put it in a trust account for my son when he becomes of legal age to do with as he pleases, whether it be to go to college or to set himself up with his own house. So you're not taking the money off the table. You're just putting it in a different place and keeping it out of her hands. Maybe the courts would look positively upon something or an offer like that. You're probably not going to get away with paying the same amount. You're probably going to end up paying a little bit more, but at least put the ball in your court and take control of the situation and offer an alternative like setting up a trust. Maybe that'll work for you. Right on, Rob. You could afford a better attorney than some random YouTube guy. I try to help where I can. Like I said, I'm not an expert in really any field except for metal fabrication and welding, but over the years I have picked up a lot of knowledge based upon life experience and studying. So I know a lot, I know a little about a lot is what it comes down to. A lot about business and management and production, and I picked up a lot of other information along the way. So hopefully that helps out. Hopefully that'll kind of give you some ideas on how to take your gains and your losses and hire a good attorney. I am not done, sweetie. What's Mom doing?
Working too.
She's working too. Why don't you go? I thought she was stretching and exercising.
Not.
She's not. I'm sorry. That's my youngest. I will find a tax attorney and a good attorney if this turns into a reality. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something I recommend for everybody. Find a good tax attorney. You are our business crypto Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is he's a very smart guy, man. I wouldn't compare myself to him. He's done some amazing things. Paying child support using Dogecoin miners is always an option for now. Absolutely. Go ahead, buy yourself some Dogecoin miners, plug them in, and pay the child support from the cryptocurrency you earn mining. It would be cool if I could get even a quarter the size of subscribers and listeners as Joe Rogan. Just a quarter. That guy's got tens of millions of people that listen to his podcast, including myself. DC has a new name. Is asking about a chat, text chat. I wish Discord offered a text chat via their live stream. Unfortunately, they don't. Ask the court if they will take payment in Come Rocket altcoin. God. See if they'll take SafeMoon. I think I read somewhere that Miami-Dade County in Florida was accepting cryptocurrency in their court system. We would have to ask Roman. I think he's down in that area. He might know. So, time frame for AMC. To answer your question, Amar, June 2nd is the share count. All shares have to be counted by June 2nd. So that will tell us how many synthetic shares are actually floating in the market right now. All the shares that we have as retail investors have to be realized, have to be solidified and come to fruition. So if there are 500 or let's say 50 million synthetic shares and retail investors happen to be holding those synthetic shares, they then become real shares and the hedge funds have to pay for them because they created them with naked short selling. So that's going to happen on June 2nd. That's why we're seeing so much FUD right now with people on Reddit and bots on Reddit and Twitter and social media saying sell by Friday. Because if you sell by Friday, you can't be counted as a holder in AMC come July shareholders meeting. That's what the June 2nd leads to. So you have your shares count on June 2nd, and then we have our shareholders meeting, I believe, on July 29th. So those go together. In that time frame between June 2nd and the 29th of July is when I think we are going to see the highest volume in AMC in that time frame. That is what I am counting on. That is what I am looking at. That is what I am crossing my fingers for. Hopefully that helps out. So June 2nd is a big date. It's only a couple days away. You know, we're here on Wednesday. June 2nd is a week away. If you've been in AMC from the beginning and you've been holding it like months for like myself, what's another week or two? You know, my wife has asked me, we've been talking about it, you know, if this does happen, when are we going to realize the gains? When are we going to see it? I told her 60 days. You know, it's going to take me, you know, even if squeeze happens tomorrow or it happens Friday or it happens on June 2nd or June 3rd, it's still going to take me 3 weeks, if not longer, a month to rectify and solidify those gains and put them in a position where we can utilize them. Just because you have locked in a trade and you sold and you're now 7-8 figures deep in assets and gains doesn't mean you can go out and use that asset tomorrow. You're going to lose big time on taxes. That's what we've kind of been talking about, is finding good tax attorney. So if I collect my gains, I'm dumping it right into something else, and I am not going to focus on them. I'm going to completely change directions and start gearing up for stage 2 in my investment strategy for the future. When we get there, I will share that with you guys. We actually had a red candle on AMC. We'll have to see if it can close another green candle and come back up. Let's see how GameStop is doing. Oh, that's GM. E. We got 2 red candles for GME. Let's see how that goes. Let's look at my positions on Robinhood. I haven't been focusing on my Robinhood. I still have open positions on Robinhood. Yee. I'm hoping to close out this SPY position today. That would be nice to close this one out. I posted Miami-Dade County Task Force for crypto.
Miami-Dade's newest task force for something you may have investments in cryptocurrency. So how are they protecting your hard-earned money? NBC6's Jamie Garola joins us live in Miami to explain it all. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Jackie. Last month, Club 11 announced it was going to accept cryptocurrency when people buy drinks and food. And last week, a hotel in the Gables did the same thing. Now, some Miami-Dade commissioners think maybe one day we can pay our taxes and for other services with the virtual currency. Thesis Hotel in Coral Gables just opened last fall. It advertises...
I don't want to get demonetized, so I can't play the whole thing, but that is interesting. I'll have to definitely read the article. Thanks so much for sharing it. So remember, we talked about earlier, when I'm looking at my positions for options, I try to close with at least a minimum of 10% gains. Five minutes ago. So the short squeeze has not happened. Don't listen to what you are saying. Look at the facts. AMC short squeeze is not in play right now. There are only 90 shares or 90,000 shares available for borrowing. That means that they are still holding all of the shares. We are still holding all of the shares. 90,000 shares is not a lot in the total amount of shares available for AMC. So this is not the short squeeze. This is maybe a gamma squeeze and a price correction. Let's see what Ortex has to say, see if they have any updates for us. "21 minutes ago, AMC is edging closer to $20. The price increases. This price increase this week has created losses of close to $700 million in AMC alone. AMC Strong, AMC Squeeze, and AMC 500K are all trending. Short interest is currently increasing to 17.4% of the free float. So what that means is there are 90, we saw that over here that there was 90,000 shares available for borrowing, meaning that of those 97,000 or 90,000 shares of available to borrow, if you were to borrow them, you'd be paying 17% or more in interest daily on borrowing those shares. Short borrow rates. Yeah, I'd love to be able to see this stuff. Too bad it's all under, you have to have a subscription. It is what it is. Short volume ratio right now is 27%. That fluctuates depending on this fluctuating, so we'll see. But $700 million alone. Insane. So now they've doubled that, huh? Yeah, so the short interest has gone down a little bit. Oh no, so this is GameStop. Short interest on GameStop is 21.12% of the free float. AMC 17.33 about 3 hours ago. Ortex seems to be fairly reliable. They seem to have good, solid information, and it's being backed up by market data, not manipulation. So, I like Ortex a lot. Somebody over in Discord, mining and equipment group, just shared a pretty sick looking mining rig. Looks like at least a 12 GPU mining setup. Some big fans. That's pretty crazy looking. Look at that thing. A little overkill, but still cool. Safe Moon is beautiful. I'm still holding mine, guys. I still have high hopes for Safe Moon. This sums it up completely. All the crap against Dogecoin. Dogecoin is just a made-up money with an infinite supply. Federal Reserve. That's pretty cool. SafeMoon launches new wallet with Simplex for greater security. That says a lot about a brand new cryptocurrency to get paired up with one of the largest cryptocurrency purchasing platforms, being Simplex. I keep laughing, and I got to remember I'm not on a very stable desk, so when I laugh, the whole desk shakes. Bots are in full force. Trust your fellow apes. We aren't selling, not for $50, and not Friday. Not financial advice. Buckle up, apes. Things are going to get bumpy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Everyone is still pushing for that 500K floor. I will be in just dumbstruck awe, and just bewilderment if AMC hits 500K. I hope it does for everybody, so everybody can collect gains and become millionaires at 500K a share. So, fingers crossed for you guys that are holding, under 100 shares or so. I'm going to be doing some huge big giveaways on Discord and YouTube if AMC hits 1,000. If it passes 1,000, I'll be doing some big things for everybody. I agree with you completely. I'm going through some of them and reading them. They're pretty funny. Fake squeeze to damage the June 2nd vote count. Citadel seems to be planning a bull trap to crash AMC and make apes sell. Well, when apes sell, their votes are null and void for the June 2nd reminder that we need votes to expose the synthetic shares. So hold on to your shares. Even if you just hold on to them until Monday, that says a lot. I'm holding on past June 2nd. Don't fall for it. So if you have AMC and are eligible to vote and have voted already, they want you to sell so that your vote doesn't count anymore. June 2nd will expose their corruption to the world. It will be one of the biggest scandals the stock market has ever seen. I agree 100% with that. Do not let them trick you into selling before June 2nd. Yeah, Ronald, I'm holding AMC, a couple hundred in AMC, a couple thousand in AMC. I mean, not AMC, Safe Moon. I'm going to continue to hold until, I'm rich again. I don't know. It's not hurting me to hold it, if you know what I mean. It's a risky investment. It's one of many that I've made in the past couple months, but risk seems to be very popular right now in the market. I don't know how long it can be sustained, but I will hold on to my Safe Moon. I will hold on to my DOGE, and I will continue to mine everything that I possibly can. That's a pretty cool little Apple Watch plug-in for Safe Moon. Someone printed some Safe Moon medallions. AMC CEO pays $50K out of his own pocket to help apes. What a legend he is. Now this was a couple months ago. This wasn't recently, but it's still pretty cool. Many AMC investors are keen to helping to save the endangered gorilla of Central Africa. The interest of passion for shareholders are important to AMC and to me. So AMC cares, and I personally are giving $50K to each Dana Foster, and found that's pretty cool. $100K in total. So he put in $50K, and then AMC put in AMC put in $50K. Yeah, so we were just talking about this. Safe Moon partners with Simplex, world's leading fiat crypto infrastructure, now offers integrated Safe Moon wallets for growing army of Safe Moon crypto investors. That is huge, guys. That is big stuff. Yeah, that's true, Keith. If they accept it full on. I like the fact that Safe Moon said F you to Ledger and came out with their own hardware wallet. I think that was pretty slick of them. I might just do that. Ronald, I think you made the right call, man. I'm not going to read that one, but I'm going to leave it on the screen for a second. I'm going to upvote it. This is why you hold. Banks collected $12.4 billion in overdraft fees in 2020. That means banks took over $12 billion from people with no money during a global pandemic. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second. $12 billion from people with no money during a global pandemic. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff out there on AMC, on SafeMoon, and Dogecoin. Continue to hold. I'm holding. I'm waiting it out. I'm seeing where it's going. I'm liking it. Oh, looks like SPY's finally turned green for me on my options call. Hopefully we can close that up before 3 o'clock today. Options don't really trade well in extended hours, so I'd like to close my options prior to 3 o'clock. Yeah, you'll notice that I have 10 contracts for AMC on July 2nd, and I'm also holding quite a few shares as well. So on top of the 5,661.45 shares of AMC that I'm holding, I also hold the rights to 10 contracts. Each contract is each contract is 100 shares of AMC. So 10 contracts is roughly another 1,000 shares of AMC that I hold the rights to. This doesn't really, the call options don't really help the free float, but it does help my portfolio. So Rob asked if Doge does pop, do you swap to a stablecoin or just cash out? It depends. It all depends on how how Dogecoin develops. If they are implemented on Robinhood with wallets, if they are finally put on Coinbase, if the Doge Dex is, we get a final version of that. We have been getting new wallets, but they also have an exchange coming out. So there are a couple catalysts still in the pipelines for Dogecoin that could solidify Dogecoin as a stablecoin of its own. So that's a tricky one to ask. You can see here on my, you can't see it. Roughly I'm holding 20,000 coins on Robinhood, but not your keys, not your coins. So it's not really anything I'm super tied into on Doge, on Robinhood. But I have quite a bit on my Coinami account, and I have quite a bit on my crypto.com account. So I hold the Dogecoin. I hope it goes to $1 and beyond. I like Dogecoin. I use Dogecoin. One Doge is one Doge. That's kind of the whole saying and premise behind it. So I don't know if I would transition Doge to a stablecoin. If SafeMoon pops off or Shiba Inu pops off, then yeah, I would sell that and transition that into a stablecoin. But depending on how Doge develops over the next couple months to a year, I'd probably just hold on to the Doge. I think they got a lot of things coming. I think that Elon has bigger plans for Doge than what we are seeing. Well, I hope he does at least. And I'm going to continue to hold. I'm not moving Dogecoin to a stablecoin. I transition. Ronald's does. He's got a good idea. Using crypto.com, you can transition to a stablecoin and collect 14% interest. I do with a portion of my holdings. So I have, like I said, a large portion of AMC or Dogecoin. I have a large portion of SafeMoon and CRO and Litecoin. So depending on the interest rates, depending on a lot of things, yes, stable coins do pay out more interest to buy more coins to then collect the gains as they rise. So it's a Ferris wheel type of trading strategy and compounding interest strategy that can make you very rich very quickly if you stay on top of it. I mean, if just holding the amount of SafeMoon that I have right now, so I think I think SafeMoon is like 0.6% per day is the interest that you gain roughly on SafeMoon. So holding my asset with a SafeMoon, it nets me like $2,000 a year if I hold it, and I hold what I want, and that's just compounding. Next year it'll be more, and so on, and it just keeps going up. It compounds every single day. So compounding interest is key. If you guys haven't looked into compounding interest or compound interest investing, I encourage you to do so. It is very cool stuff. Taking off, Rob. I was glad to have you in the chat. Thanks for stopping by, man. That was good tea. Yeah, if I can close out my SPY contracts at 10%, I probably dump those back into AMC, to be honest with you. Even at the price that it's at. And that's more or less what I've been doing the past couple weeks, is I have been strategically trading options to purchase additional AMC shares, along with cryptocurrency buying, selling, and trading on the weekends to purchase additional AMC shares. So everything right now I'm pretty much funneling into AMC. That's how strongly I feel about it. That's a big red candle for GME on the 1 hour chart. And again, we're approaching, we have passed the halfway mark in the day, so it is natural to see a slight retracement, and then it should spike up a little bit in the after hours. It's normal. It's going to go up and down. Again, I think this level for AMC is a normal trading value or level. Got a huge sell wall going on for AMC right now. Don't know what that's all about. Let's see, people selling 19. Got a good chunk here at 19. These could also be day traders or hedges, trading back and forth. Another tactic that hedge funds like to use is called stop limit hunting, or stop loss hunting. So depending on the trading platform that you're using, can implement a trailing stop loss. So as the price goes up that fast and hits that $19.66, you have, say, a 50-cent trailing stop loss. So after it passes or touches upon that $19.50 trigger, your stop loss is now active, and then it dips down 50 cents back to $18.75, and it automatically closes your positions. So there was a post a couple days ago on people, and warning people about this attack, and telling people to take off your trailing stop losses. You know, monitor the account, set alerts for your account, but don't use trailing stop losses for that reason, because they know that they're out there. Trailing stop loss is a triggered indicator or a safety net that some traders use so that they can collect gains and they don't lose all the gains as, you know, the price climbs. But when you have a market like this that is this volatile, a trailing stop loss may not be the smartest option to go with. All right, guys, it's approaching 1 o'clock here. They're going to start wrapping it up. Anybody have any final questions or final thoughts they'd like to bring up before we cut the live stream? I really hate the amount of delay that YouTube has between live stream. It's like 15 to 30 seconds. It's crazy. All right, guys, since nobody's got anything else, I appreciate you. You guys have been awesome. Ronald, thanks again for contributing to the channel. You are an amazing individual. I wish you health, happiness, and success along with everybody else. We do this every Wednesday. Hopefully we can see the chat grow as time goes on. We're approaching the 1,100 subscriber mark on YouTube, and the Discord server has jumped well over 300 members. Amazing to see. As always, guys, be respectful to your fellow Discord members and your fellow YouTubers. Share the love, not with just me, but with other YouTubers that you follow. It really means a lot to us when you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, join in on the conversation. If something does develop in the meantime between this stream and my next video, or my next scheduled video rather, on Monday, I will definitely jump in and share the news with you guys. I will always be on top of it as much as I possibly can, so you guys can kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy the gains. So until then, guys, relax, turn your monitors off, turn your phones off, enjoy your family, enjoy your loved ones, and we'll all enjoy the gains together shortly. Take it easy, everybody.